So I'm recording now. So my name is Carly. I'm so excited to be here with you guys. I'm going to talk about creating urgency and excitement in your business, but just wanted to talk a little bit about my story, kind of where I came from, and kind of like my coaching story just before I dive into the topic. So again, I've been coaching for 3.5 years. I started coaching when I was a full-time yoga teacher, driving around to a whole bunch of different gyms and studios. I was also dove into working at a bar because the yoga teaching business just isn't there. Like, you just don't get paid that much money for yoga teaching. And you have to work 7 days a week and you only get paid a certain amount per class. And so I just saw coaching as like this awesome outlet to like blow a fitness business out of the water instead of just sitting in that victim mentality of like, well, I'm just going to be like a broke yoga teacher. Like, that's just what we do. And before coaching, I was going to open up a yoga studio, but then, I dove in, and I don't know if any of you guys are business owners. I dove into, a brick and mortar business and really, what that looked like to, start it up and rent a space and, pay teachers and get all the inventory and everything. And it was just like crazy astronomical costs. And I was like, oh, like you can run an online coaching business for $15.95 a month. Like, what? Okay. So I totally switched gears and just dove full force into this. But I would say like the first 2 years of my business, I was teaching yoga full time. I was working at a bar from 5 p.m. till about midnight to 1:30 a.m. I also ran my own kids yoga business. So I started up, hold on a second. I also ran my own kids yoga business. So I would teach after school enrichment programs to kids from like 3:30 to 4:30 or 4:30 to 5:30. And then right after the kids yoga classes, I drive to the bar and work at the bar and serve pizza and beer. And then early in the mornings, I would be teaching my yoga classes, like 6 a.m. yoga classes or 9 a.m. yoga classes or 12 p.m. yoga classes. It's a really weird schedule as a yoga teacher. Kind of like personal training. You're either teaching in the morning or teaching at night, but I was working at the bar at night, so I teach in the morning and then do my kids classes in the middle. I was living with my parents. I had like $200 to my name when I signed up to become a coach. And I remember paying, that $140 for literally the 21-day fix DVDs, you guys. Like, we literally sold DVDs 3.5 years ago. You didn't even get an online subscription to Beachbody On Demand. Like, I built myself to diamond, and a lot of these like veteran coaches, they have created like super amazing businesses by selling fitness DVDs, you guys. So, Success Club is like way easier to hit nowadays because you just have so much more to like pull from, especially just like the value that you get for the challenge pack. But yeah, so then I signed up with Jamie and I was like, holy crap, like this is an amazing business model. Like I'm going all in. And I've been hosting fitness groups ever since 3.5 years later. And I freaking love it. I went full-time coaching about, I think it was just under 2 years into the business. And I think I was like a 2-star diamond coach. We always like obviously encourage people, once you get to 2-star, that's really where your income increases. And that's where I was able to write an email to my boss at the bar and say, deuces, I'm out in 14 days, which was literally like the best email ever. And then slowly kind of took off yoga teaching classes off my schedule as well. And now I teach like, maybe like one yoga class like every couple of weeks when I want to. But I'm by no means like bound to like a schedule or the schedule that the yoga studios always had around me. I never had to like go to a boss and ask him like, okay, like, can I get these days off? And that's what I really love. So my husband and I, Kevin, we live in like this tiny little mountain town, which we'd never be able to live in if it wasn't for coaching. We bought a house last fall, which is amazing. And we've been renovating it ever since. We just got married this summer. I've literally had like the most insane, crazy, busy year of my life. So when anybody comes and tells me that they're too busy for coaching, I'm like, please don't give me those excuses because I literally can't. Like right when I started coaching, even up until now, like it's been like the craziest seasons of our life ever. But if you can just like lean into the chaos, and I was talking to a new coach about this yesterday, like if you can just like accept the fact that like you're officially an entrepreneur and like naturally there's never gonna be like perfect order and you're never gonna have all your ducks in a row. And if you can just lean into the fact that like entrepreneurship is kind of like that like crazy chaos that's like you're trying to control, like that's when you can kind of release and let go and just focus on those basics. So that's going to kind of transition me into this call because I really want to share with you guys just how to create excitement and urgency in your business. Whoa. And really sticking to the basics and hoping that that will help relieve, kind of this, stress or maybe overwhelm I know that a lot of coaches say that they have. So with that being said, I'm recording this, thankfully. Creating urgency and excitement in your business. So 3 questions that I want to kind of ask you guys before we dive in. First off, and I'm going to kind of mainly talk about social media, but what is your goal on this platform, right? I think a lot of the times, like when we become a new coach, or maybe, you know, we've been in the seasons of coaching and there's definitely like hills and valleys in it, we kind of lose sight of our goal on this platform. And I'm telling you guys this because I can tell you this from experience. Even within like the last month and a half, you guys, like with me getting married and having these amazing wedding pictures to share and having this huge engagement on these photos of like my wedding, I really had to like take like an ego check and be like, wow, like what is my goal on this platform? Yes, like I want to share like these beautiful, amazing photos, but like, am I here to just like post amazing, like beautiful photos to get likes and comments and more followers? Or is my goal on this platform really to serve people, to connect with that girl who's struggling in her fitness journey? You know, connecting with, for me, that fellow yoga teacher who is really struggling in the fitness industry, not being able to make, you know, that yoga teaching career something that she thought it was going to be. You know, so really asking yourself, like, what is your goal on this platform? Because our goal isn't to be the biggest, baddest, most famous, Instagram account out there with all of the perfectly laid out photos with the perfect preset and the perfect captions and like the children laughing and like matching like outfits as you. Even if you do that, like that's amazing. But like for me, I really had to gut check myself, and I had to do this exact same thing, you know, 3.5 years ago when I first started. I was a yoga teacher. I was all about like the handstands and the cool yoga poses and like, you know, all of these cool backgrounds of me handstanding on a mountain. And then I was like, okay, what is my goal? Like, the goal of those photos is what? To like get likes and increase my engagement. Okay, like that's great, but like what is my goal on this platform? And I really had to refocus like what I was spending my time on and what I was like letting my mind get consumed with again. So asking yourself again and again, what is your goal on this platform? Who is that girl that you're speaking to? Who is that ideal client that you want to jump into your boot camp? Who is that coach that you want to attract and work with, right? But you have to be really honest about what your goal is and get out of that mentality of like, you know, popularity contest, because I know we can all get in it, and I can totally get into it, and that's why I'm sharing that. So what is really your goal for this platform? Number 2, are you interested in that goal, or are you committed in that goal? So for me, my goal for my platform was to create a bomb-ass health and fitness business, helping girls get results from home and finding, you know, empowerment in their bodies. So I was committed to that being my goal. So I was going to focus my posts, focus my content, and focus a lot of the words that I was using on my Instagram to make sure that I was catering towards that goal. Now, deciphering whether you're interested or committed in this goal is key. And I heard this on a podcast, and that's why I made this kind of like the second focal point that I wanted you guys to listen to or to focus on. Because if I'm committed to that goal, I am no longer going to care about the popularity contest and the perfect presets and the perfect layout of my Instagram and, you know, absolutely every single thing looking, you know, aesthetically pleasing. I'm going to be more focused on the back end work, right? I'm going to be more focused on the connections I'm making on emails or DMs or getting, you know, people's contact information so I can actually talk to them about what they're struggling with so I can serve them as a fitness mentor, right? If I'm committed to that goal, then I need to focus on that type of content on my platform. Now, committed and interested. I'm not saying that committed is the right way to do it or interested is the right way to do it. There's not like a wrong or a right answer when asking yourself, are you committed or interested? However, someone who is committed is a coach who will not let the month end without them hitting Success Club. That is a committed coach. Just like I opened this call with, I would not let the 5th of the month go by, you guys, without me hitting Success Club 6, without helping my first 3 people that month, because I'm committed as a coach. If you're committed to your fitness journey, even if you go on vacation and it's to Maui or Hawaii, like somewhere crazy and it's super cool and you're having a lot of fun, like if you're committed, you're gonna download your workouts and you're gonna get up 30 minutes earlier and you're gonna head down to the hotel gym or outside onto the grass and press play on your workout. Like you are committed, right? If you're interested in that goal of helping people, you're gonna, you know, maybe hit, you know, Success Club 2, 4, maybe 6 if you're lucky, right? If you go on vacation and you're interested in your fitness journey, you're gonna like do your workouts like 50% of the time, and like you'll probably half-ass them, and like that's it, like that's fine. Like at least you did some of your workouts. That's amazing. But there's a difference, right? There's a difference between being interested in something and there's a difference between being committed in something. So decipher and ask yourself and be honest. Are you interested or are you interested for the goal that you have for coaching and on this platform as a whole. Okay, deciding if you're interested or committed is so key, and you have to be honest with yourself. Okay, no one's judging you, you be honest with yourself. And then the third question, and this is where I'll kind of dive into more on the next slide, what will produce income? For me, before and after photos produce income. They produce engagement, they produce they produce interest in what I'm sharing, or in what I provide as a fitness coach. Before and after photos are not like the funnest things for me to share, because, you know, even 3.5 years later, I still get like a little nervous, and I still kind of like second guess myself, like, am I worthy? Does this look good? Like, I don't really know. Like, I'm just gonna share my story and share this before and after photo. For me, what produces income is sharing before and after photos, being authentically me, and sharing about my fitness journey and talking about coaching, and really sticking to that being a focal point of my social media, because that's my goal on this platform, right? So coming back to these 3 different questions is so, so key. I'll kind of, again, I'll dive into more of like what will produce income in the slides to come. But I see so many coaches so worried about, like, you know, they're following, getting to know their family and getting to know like their likes and interests, and getting to know, like, you know, their son or like whatever, or like their hair tutorials or whatever. And it's like, those things are amazing, and that will produce engagement and excitement with your brand as a whole. But at the end of the day, your main focus has to be what is producing income for you. And the things that produce income for me is focusing on fitness, right? We're fitness coaches, right? Not the perfect fitness coach, right? But focusing on fitness, talking about clients' results, making sure that when someone goes to your platform, they know that you are, like they talked about at Summit, a transformation specialist. Like, that's what we do as coaches, right? So that's going to produce your income. At the end of the day, it's Success Club. It's getting people signed up with a fitness package. It's getting them plugged into your boot camps. That is what produces income, period, end of story in this business. And then I just kind of wanted to add in this quote, because I think this kind of just relates to like kind of this whole topic that I'm talking about. But just remembering that, like, you don't destroy your business by losing people. You destroy it by not recruiting more people. I think so often we're like, oh, another person quit, or another person like isn't finishing their fitness program, or another person won't respond to me, whatever. Like, you don't destroy your business by like losing those people. You destroy it by not focusing and recruiting on the people who are ready to join you, right? And you're moving your business forward and leading by example. So your business isn't crumbling because people are quitting, because I already told you guys and set that expectation at the beginning of this call. People quit. It's fitness, okay? We're not in the business of selling soap, okay? People quit on this business all the freaking time, because fitness is easy to quit on, because fitness is hard. This business is hard, right? If you want an easier business, like, go sell ice cream, right? Like, I'll sign up for that, but like, is it fulfilling you? Like, is that something that you really love? I don't know. So I just love that quote. Okay, I'm gonna take a drink of water really quick. Okay, a couple things for setting the tone for your audience and making it known why you are here, and again, what your goal is. So these are a couple things that I just kind of wanted to throw in, because I think, again, it sets that tone for your audience and it keeps them focused on what you're providing as a fitness coach. Because I think the lines can get blurry a lot of the times. I go to some of my coaches' pages and I'm like, girl, I know you're a fitness coach like one day out of the week. Literally. You talk about coaching in your challenge group and maybe like one before and after like every other week or once a month. But like, it is not the forefront of your brand. And you're telling me you want to be a full-time coach, and fitness and coaching isn't prominent. It's not what you're always talking about. Like, that needs to be the tone, and you need to make that known all the time, every day, that that's your goal on this platform. So one thing that I always recommend is launching your fitness group before the start of the new month. Now, launching doesn't mean like start your day one of your fitness group, but making sure that you're like talking about a fitness group starting the next month before that month even comes. So for example, for October, I was talking about the work launch group that isn't even starting for me. Like, prep week doesn't even start until October 14th. Workouts don't even start till October 21st. I talked about that launch group like before October even came, okay? And I've been talking to some coaches right now who are like, well, I'm just starting marketing my fitness group. I'm like, girl, it is the 7th of the month. Like, how are you gonna just start marketing your fitness group and hit Success Club within like the next day, right? Before even the 10th comes around, right? So making sure you're launching your group before the start of the new month, talking about the group before the new month even starts, so you can really, really create that excitement and that momentum in your business that will propel you and excite those people as the new month shows up, okay? If you're doing a free group, I think the free group should be at the end of the month. So they should be at the end of the month prepping you for the next month. I don't want to see people like talking about a free group like mid-month, right? Because if a free group is mid-month, then you're like advertising for the free group like the first half of the month, and like a free group isn't going to get you Success Club. So why would you spend the first 2 weeks of a month like marketing a free group? Like that's just my personal opinion, but at the same time, I'm like, so your free group isn't gonna start till the 15th. You're gonna market the free group like the first half of the month, and then your free group is gonna go like the 15th to the 20th, and then hopefully you're getting Success Club points like the 21st. Like I don't get that, right? So have your free group, and there's an awesome free group like layout that Taylor Ricker graciously shared with all of us. Search inside the team page if you need it. But there's a 5-day free group layout, and I would do it at the end of a month, right? At the end of the month, after you've already gotten all your clients signed up, after you've already checked off all the vital behaviors on your coaching checklist. And then at the end of the month, create some excitement for a free group. And then when the free group ends, oh my gosh, it's the beginning of the next month. And then you can transition those people over to paid clients. Does that make sense? I think another thing that I was talking to a lot of my coaches about end of August, beginning of September, is having conversations all month that you know will transfer to clients for the next month. So always being one step ahead. I think a lot of the times we assume that like, you know, oh my gosh, Jamie's hit Success Club, you know, for so many months in a row. She's probably just having all of these, you know, special conversations, you know, these first 7 days in October, and that's who she's getting to sign up. Like I would bet and put money on it that like the people that Jamie has signed up to join her fitness group this month, she primed, prepped, and got ready with in September. So you're talking and you're getting those people ready and you're establishing those relationships all freaking month so that when the next month comes around, then you're saying, hey girl, like, why don't you work out with me? Like, I'd love getting to know you, whatever, right? So you're always one step ahead. You're being proactive instead of reactive in your business, okay? It shouldn't be like the first of the month and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna start 100 conversations and hopefully I'll hit Success Club by tonight. Like, no, like you're literally priming and prepping yourself the month prior so that when the first of the month comes, you're like, let's freaking go. Like I have those people ready. I have those people in the pipeline. I worked my ass off, you know, the last 2 weeks of the month to really get set and ready so that they are people who are ready to jump in and join me come October 1st or come November 1st, right? Ideally by October 20th, like I've hit my SC goals and I'm getting clients prepped and ready to sign up on November 1st. Like that's how a business owner does this, right? We don't just scrape by all month and then on 30th we hit SC6 and, you know, cheers, right? All right, and I'm not going to say the last one because I feel like I already said that a million times, non-negotiable. Okay, so then I took some examples from some top coaches. One sec. So this is another thing that I'm talking about while it's like important to launch your group before a month even starts. So this is Emily Favre. These are both top 10 coaches. So this isn't just like me thinking that this works for them. Like these are actually like top 10 coaches who this works and they do it because it works, right? So this was, I think, her Emily Favre's feed the beginning of September. So you can see she was plugging in, I think it was like end of August to beginning of September. She was creating this excitement and this wave of momentum end of August into the beginning of September. So she could hit those Success Club goals and get those people plugged in beginning of the month, right? Look at how many transformation photos she's sharing in the beginning / like end of the month where you're trying to create that momentum and get excitement for your next group that's launching, okay? So before and after photos are so freaking key. This was one by Amy Silverman. I think this was like right before the MM100 launch group started, maybe like end of June, beginning of July. But again, you guys, like transformation photo of moves, another transformation photo. Like transformation photos are what bring me income in my business. And I would urge you guys to make sure that they are a prominent, pivotal point on your feed because that's what we do, right? We help people get results. So results need to live on your page consistently. And then I just kind of wanted to dive into like the fact that transformation photos are key, but also like you can choose different types of transformation photos. Like it doesn't have to all be about the abs. This is like one of my favorite transformation photos ever. This is my coach, Leanna. She's amazing. And I just think it goes to show, like, it's not about like the abs. It's not about like the before, like it can be like a lot of mine are that because I had no idea that I was able to like build 8-pack. I was like, what the heck? I freaking have abs. I've never had abs before. Like that was my story. But maybe that isn't your story. So get creative on what types of transformation photos that you want and the type of transformation that you personally experience. Leanna talks a lot about how the version of how she used to hold herself and the space that she held versus the space that she holds and how she kind of presents herself now. Like she talks about, and a big part of her brand is like, she's okay with taking up space. She's okay with being loud. She's okay with being proud and excited. And you can tell that even just by like the way that she holds herself in these two pictures, which I just think is so amazing and speaks volumes. So get creative with your transformation photos. I love this one of Amy, and it's just like the facial transformation, right? It has nothing really to do with like fitness, but more like overall like human transformation. This one's by my coach, Angie. I talk about this as well, going from skinny to strong. I post all over my Instagram about how since I started coaching, I've gained 15 pounds, going on 20. Pretty proud of it. And I think that like if you can get really specific to your target market, that will remind them like the purpose why you're posting and why you really want to connect with them. And also encouraging your audience to put themselves in your shoes, right? Because the people that are following you are going to be similar to you if you're branding yourself correctly. So I speak a lot to those, skinny but not strong, and that transformation. So get, creative with those transformations. Then obviously this one, I think a lot of the times we think that like a transformation has to be like a 21-day transformation or like a 2-week transformation or a program transformation. Like in all honesty, guys, like haven't gotten a lot of transformations in the past like 2 years because I've been like freaking consistent in my fitness routine. I've been consistent in these programs. And so like physically, you don't see a lot of transformation in me. So I do a lot of like high school versus now. This is like college Jamie versus now. This is like probably, oh gosh, I can't do math. Maybe like, 10 years, right? That's a 10-year transformation. So get creative, go back on your Facebook feed, find some photos that you can really compare yourself to and talk about, what's changed. And then again, always asking yourself, can your audience put themselves in your shoes? Another thing that really helps me create excitement is creating FOMO, right? We all know what that is, right? And proving to them that what you're doing is real. Again, I see these coaches who post about their fitness group like once a week. So that it's like they literally post about it 4 times a month. Like I think I've talked about my fitness group like 4 times in the past week on like posts on Instagram. You need to prove to them what you're doing is real and that you're actually excited about it, right? So I do this pretty much every month. I did it last month. This is for September, and then I'm doing it again this month. I did it a couple days ago. I have to upload a new one maybe tonight or tomorrow morning. But talking about the people who are committing to working out with you and showing that you're actually inviting clients and you're getting clients to hop on board with you and start this. I think 4 of these clients were new, and then 2 of these clients were previous clients that just want to jump back in and just needed some accountability and motivation. They don't all have to be brand new, like clients that are like brand new, like SC points or whatever. Like they could be old clients that are just re-engaging, but create a list and show that like you're working with people, right? It's so much less intimidating, and it really creates that FOMO when you prove to them that what you are doing is real and you talk about it consistently. Like this story in September, I would say lived on my feed for like, on my story feed for like at least like 2 weeks, I would say, maybe a week and a half. But like I was always uploading it and like updating the amount of spots that I had left and who was deciding to join me. Okay, one more, another sip of water, almost done. So the other thing that I want to talk about, because I know that like I kind of like talk some trash about like wedding pictures or like amazing pictures that do boost your algorithm and that do boost engagement, and professional photos that are super important for your feed. So I want you guys to understand that like those are important, okay? You can't just be fitness, Shakeology, fitness, Shakeology. Like that's so boring. There's over 300,000 Beachbody coaches, and that's not exciting, right? Like you can't just be that. It has to be fitness catered to you and your brand. And you also have to make sure that you're adding in other things that do drive traction to your account. So these are 2 different posts that serve completely different marketing purposes. And I shared them for different marketing purposes, okay? So this is like a pretty photo. It has my dogs in it. We're in our truck. It's like a engagement picture, whatever, super cute. And I knew that like nothing to do with this was ever going to encourage somebody to join one of my fitness groups. I knew that this wasn't going to inspire somebody to join my coaching team. Like I was perfectly aware that those types of things was not why I was posting this photo, but I did know that this photo was going to drive traction to my page. That's why I've been really intentional about consistently sharing wedding photos. Like, yes, I'm obsessed with the pictures, but I also know that it's encouraging traction to my page. I made sure to tag a lot of different like bloggers and like wedding accounts, and like I used a lot of like wedding hashtags in this. And so I knew that this professional photo was going to drive traction to my page, and it might not serve any other purpose than to boost like the engagement that I had on my Instagram, okay? So that was my marketing purpose for this picture. Now you can see it got like 1,300 likes, like so many likes, so much engagement, it was amazing. And then this is content that provokes thought and drives my income. You can see that this had like 1/3 of the amount of likes and engagement that that photo did, but I knew that this one was just as important because I really dove into coaching. I dove into fitness. I dove into that I just crushed my workout and it's a Monday and we're going out to breakfast and I love like, you know, my schedule that way and I'm so appreciative of it. And so I knew that this post wasn't going to get as many likes. I knew that it wasn't going to travel as far, maybe in the Instagram algorithm or whatever, but I did know that this post was going to provoke thought and it was probably going to drive my income. This post is not going to drive my income. This post is not going to get people filling out my form in my bio to work out with me, right? But this post might, right? This post is going to drive my income. It might, you know, make somebody interested in coaching. It might make somebody interested to work out with me because I'm talking about how I can work out from home. So understanding that like you need both on your feed, but understanding that they serve totally different purposes. So just understanding your marketing purposes, I think, is really important. And that's why I always encourage my coaches to always have professional photos and always have those sprinkled into their feed so that, again, it does drive traction to your page. All right, so at the end of the day, the hustle is real. Like, this is hard work. You have to bring the excitement and urgency to your page. The type of excitement and urgency for these groups and the excitement that you bring about coaching and talk about coaching in your Instagram stories and on your posts, that type of excitement is who you're gonna attract. Like, if you're bored, they're bored. If you're reaching out just to check off the boxes, they can freaking feel that you're reaching out just to check off the boxes, right? So get excited about what you're doing and really use these tools to create urgency, okay? And I didn't give you like 1,000,001 tools. I'm really talking about like before and afters and getting really specific on what before and afters speak to your audience. And then, you know, talking about how what you're doing is real and the clients that you're signing up and maybe creating that FOMO in your Instagram stories. And then just making sure that you're finding a common balance of like marketing and posts that drive traction, and then marketing and posts that drive income and, you know, provoke thought for like what you do as a coach, right? Because again, at the end of the day, what is our goal as a coach? Our goal is to help people. Our goal is to help people get unstuck, right? So the energy and excitement for what you do is completely up to you. You staying focused on your main goal will also help your audience stay focused. If you're sharing about 1,000,001 different home renovations that you're doing, or 1,000,001 different hair tutorials, and then 1,000,001 family photos, and then like a fitness post, and then 10 other posts just about your interests, and then a fitness post, and then 10 other interests, and then a fitness post. It's like, people aren't going to focus on the right thing, right? Like, your audience is sitting there and you need to make sure that you tell them what they need to focus on by sharing the things that drive your income and the goals that you have for your social media platform, right? And the last one just is that entrepreneurs or successful entrepreneurs, they set standards and are disciplined enough to not stop until they've completed the goal. So at the end of the day, you know, just making sure that you're setting those standards for yourself, you're diving into these things, you know, you're sharing those transformation photos because you have goals for your business and how many people that you want to help, and you're disciplined enough to not stop until you've completed those goals. So that is all that I have from the presentation, and I can totally open it up to questions if anybody has questions. I didn't look at the chat at all, so if you posted one, just post it at the bottom. Oh my gosh, thanks for all this. How do you edit your photos? Recommendations for new coaches. So you could totally get a preset. I'm not saying like presets are bad. You can buy presets off of Etsy for like $5. So if you're not into, you know, editing your photos and you're just like, it's not something that excites you, grab a preset off of Etsy and then just like, don't worry about it. Maybe ask your upline coach if you think, if they think that it's a good preset for you. But for me, I use VSCO Cam. So it's VSCO. And I love to like create and like kind of edit my photos on my own. I find joy in that. It's not something that takes me, it probably takes me like 10 to 15 seconds to edit a photo. So not spending hours on it, but it is something that I enjoy. So kind of deciding like, yeah. What are some ways you talk about your coaching income? So I would compare it always to like what you're currently doing. I've never shared like an actual like number of my income because obviously like, I just don't think that that's like relatable. But I always talk about, not always, I would say like once a month, I'll say, you know, in 1 week, I made the equivalent of teaching 57 yoga classes, which is impossible for a yoga teacher to teach 57 yoga classes. Or maybe you talk about your income because you're working hard to, you know, take 1 serving shift off of your plate, you know, in the next couple months. Or maybe for you, it's like covering the grocery bill, and talking about how like you're super proud that like you were able to pay for that instead of like having to have like, you know, your husband's income pay for that or something, like if you're a stay-at-home mom. They can be really small things. I used to talk about getting my nails done. Like I was always, my mom always gets her nails done. So the only way that I could get my nails done was going with my mom because she would pay for it. And when I first started as a coach, like I started making enough money to like get my nails done. And now I always get my nails done because it's like one of the things I'm most proud of, which is kind of sad. But I would talk about the fact that I was able to pay to get my nails done. And like, that's so little, but like, that's exciting, right? It can be really incremental, like small things. And just talk about how that like excites you, you know, like it doesn't have to be about the millions of dollars. Like it could be about like the $20 a week that really excites you and that you can, you know, pour back into yourself. What would you suggest saying when sharing your first transformation photo? I would say speak from your heart. One of my most successful transformation photos was literally, it started off with, I couldn't believe that I was staring at a computer for 30 minutes in my parents' hallway using water bottles as weights and listening to a trainer virtually. Did not think that I was going to get results. I was skeptical AF. Like I literally just poured it all out there. I literally just talked shit because like that's how skeptical I was. I didn't think that it was going to work. I didn't think that like this was something that was like a real thing. So I would just share like your exact story. I think the first transformation I ever did, I was like, you know, I'm super proud of myself. Me and my mom just committed to 21 days of this workout program that we did in my parents' hallway. These are my results, and I'm looking to help 5 more people through this program. I'm looking to coach five of you through this program, and I have a group starting on this date. It was like so just like, it was just how I was feeling, right? It was just the excitement. How do you have pics for every single day? Do you go on shoots with outfit changes or actually take a picture every single day? Yeah, I take pictures every single day. And I also have a album in my camera reel of just like content photos. So if you're ever in a pinch, and I'm sure like most of you guys work full-time jobs, making sure that you have like just a content album in your iPhone or whatever phone you have that just has a whole bunch of different pictures in it. You know, it doesn't have to be a professional photo shoot. Like I always recommend that my coaches take themselves seriously and do a professional shoot because you're trying to become like a professional, like you're trying to become a coach and like professionally help people. But like just having that camera roll full of content that you can pull from, if you know a day gets crazy and you don't have time to sit down and take a picture, then you can pull from that content. And I've totally done that before. And then also like if you just have a friend who has like a nice camera, maybe asking them, hey, like would you mind spending like, you know, an hour on Saturday afternoon taking pictures of me? I can totally trade it for, you know, tags on Instagram, and hopefully that'll help you get some more clients. You know, or just having your, you know, boyfriend or husband or family member or somebody take pictures on your iPhone. Like iPhones have amazing cameras. You don't need a super, super nice camera to take pictures on. Just making sure that you're thinking about that. And maybe if, you know, if you're in a corporate job and you're not outside during the week, maybe on the weekends when you head to the park, you're intentional about, okay, I'm going to wear fitness clothes and I'm going to ask my friend or my husband to like take a couple pictures of me so that you have those ready to go. You mentioned staying focused on the language you're using. Is that just meant positive versus negative, or is there a better way to dive further into language techniques that you meant? No, just staying focused on the language that you're using, like focused on like like what you do as a coach. Like I think a lot of the times like people get so focused on sharing like every single aspect of their life, which like is important. Like you want to brand yourself, but you also like want to stay like focused and excited on the fitness group that you're starting and the clients that you're working with. And like, you know, the more you like, obviously you don't want to blow it out of the water and only talk about coaching, but really be intentional about the fact that like, you know, statistics say people need to be hit with something like 7 times or like marketed like 7 times before they're actually going to like make a move or be interested in purchasing. So people are going to have to see 7 transformations of you before they're interested in joining your group. If you're only posting 1 transformation a month, like, okay, maybe in 7 months they'll join you. So you have to consistently talk about it. And if you're authentically excited about something, you should be talking about it more than just once a week, right? So just consistently sharing that excitement for what you do. Yeah, for just sharing your first transformation photo, just share exactly what you experienced in your story. If you record your workouts to post to social media, what apps or technology do you use? I just use my phone. And if you guys don't know, there's like a hands-free version. I know some people don't know this, but if you swipe onto your stories and then you swipe all the way over, so it'll naturally tell you to go to the normal version of just like posting your story. If you swipe all the way over, there's a hands-free version. It'll say hands-free at the bottom. And then if you press and hold it, it'll do a countdown for you. And I just take 3 little snippets of my workout. And I actually don't take stories of me while I'm in my workouts. I do my workout, I give it my all. And then afterwards, I'm like, okay, what were my 3 favorite moves of that pose, of that workout? And then I film just 3 15-minute segments of my workout so that I'm not like disturbing my workout and trying to like post stories and then do my workout, post stories, do my workout, because I don't find joy in that. So the hands-free thing is really, I don't know, helpful for me. I don't really see the need to like create all these like crazy graphics and stuff. Good, Krista. I'm glad it helped one person. I know when I found that out, I was like, what? All right, any other questions, guys? Yeah, holding it down, 3, 2, 1, boom. All right, I think we good. I'm gonna stop the recording. I'm so glad I recorded it. All right, have an